How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of Frankenstein. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. Well, we've warned you.
You have been warned. Welcome back to Frankenstein Minute, the podcast where we dissect the Frankenstein films minute by minute. I'm Bill Evenson.
And I'm Tom Lang, and we are at minute 59 of 1931's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, you say?
I say Frankenstein.
That's what you say. I tend to say Frankenstein, but that's fine. Either is acceptable.
Or Frankenstein, as
Frankenstein,
Peter Cushing says. Yeah.
Or Peter Cushing. I don't know. That makes no sense. We're still talking. We still got some John Boles.
Got a little bit of John Boles left. The tail end of John Boles.
Yep.
Henry leaves Elizabeth in Victor's care, no matter what happens.
Yeah, funny that.
You think?
I think I know what he's saying there.
Yeah.
I think what he's saying is, I know you guys. I'm assuming the best way I can think of it is, I know you guys like each other. And I know you like Elizabeth. So if I die, I want her to be with you.
Yeah. If I don't
which
come
is
back.
awful and again really condescending, but it's fine.
Condescending to Elizabeth?
To Elizabeth, yeah. The assumption, I would assume that she's capable of doing whatever the hell she wants.
Making her own decisions.
Making her own. Not just that she's allowed to make her own decisions, but I mean, it's Elizabeth. We love Elizabeth.
We love Elizabeth.
We want her to do whatever she wants.
Right. Yeah.
She doesn't need to be cared for. She's not a character that,
No. Well, now, after what's happened, maybe she's very fragile.
This could be. Well, that would explain the next
Explain
time
the
we
next-
see her.
Yeah.
Next time we see her, we might not feel the same way.
Right.
Victor, as is sort of in
want.
keeping with what we would expect from John Boles, is wrestling with Henry. He's got him by the arm. He grabs him by the arm like he's going to flip him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to just take a step away from a guy that he doesn't want you to, I think it's funny that he doesn't really have any physical role in this film whatsoever. He's asked to sit, stand, and occasionally walk or cower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he grabs onto Henry. I think he's probably
gonna get some
better suited to that
He's
sort
going
of
to
thing.
get some acting in here if it kills him.
Exactly. So, Henry says, she's all yours, buddy.
Yeah, and I can't tell if it's Victor is struggling with that or it's just John Boles doesn't know how to act his way out of the scene.
I guess I give it to
him the
Boles.
benefit of the
Yeah,
doubt.
I'll give it to Boles. It works.
Yeah, that he's sort of, because he kind of...
He takes a step, turns around, and is like, wow, Elizabeth, this is easy. An easy decision for me.
Yeah.
I don't have any reason to... I don't know. He could follow Henry. He could go with
He could
Henry.
say like that.
Elizabeth, probably somebody else to take care of
Yeah, he's got a whole house full of people that could take care of Elizabeth.
But I guess his assumption is that Henry would prefer that he take care of Elizabeth, based on what he just said. And it's the easy choice, and that's what Victor always
That's what
does.
Victor's been doing throughout the whole film. So
That's right. I will do the minimum. And I want Elizabeth. He's going to go. He's drooling for Elizabeth.
Yeah, he's already getting a boner, so.
Yep, exactly. He's going to go.
All right.
All right, so then we go
easy
back,
pickings.
and that's it. Goodbye, John
Goodbye to
Boles.
John Boles.
Any final
Any
thoughts?
last? Oh, I think we've given him enough.
Yeah.
Someone on one of the, I think it was on the, was it the Classic Horror Film Board, referred to us as Wrecking Bowls.
Wrecking Boles, yeah.
Which
No,
I
I
thought
think
was
I thought
great.
that was,
It almost warrants its own T-shirt.
Yeah, maybe. If anybody wants one, let us know. We'll
Because we've
figure
sold
out
so many of
something.
the other ones.
Yeah. Well, it's true. It's true. They're flying off the shelves, folks.
Redbubble can't keep up with the demand.
And with good reason. He's in
here's a
this
character-
movie,
He is in this movie. There's no denying that.
and he has that on us. We wish we were in this movie. I
Yeah,
might be
yeah.
vaping in it if I ever get that time machine working.
Right. Well, here's a character of any that should be participating in the climax.
Absolutely.
He's a strapping guy.
Mm-hmm.
He should be out there.
No question.
But for whatever reason, the choice was made not to have him participate.
Yeah, that's odd when you put it like that. Because as we are going to now talk about, I guess, the next scene starts. parts, and it's kind of weird how this is all put together. It seems to have been organized quickly.
Yeah.
The burgomaster is deputizing the mob. It's not a
Basically.
pretty sight.
No.
It's not something you ever want to see. In my opinion, this should never happen.
No, it shouldn't. I referred to it a few weeks ago as a lynch mob, which I think is exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's understandable why it happens, and
Right.
and the result of something like this might even be in some way satisfying, but it's still just wrong, and it should never happen.
Yeah, it's just vigilante
awful.
justice, and
So that's what we're gonna do.
Clearly, no trial took place.
Right. Yep.
Which is probably for the best, because we know how silly that looks from having seen Ghost of Frankenstein.
That's true.
How ridiculous
true.
putting the monster on trial.
Putting the monster on trial.
It's just ludicrous. But
it is a little bit silly.
But where do you get those torches?
And lots of them.
And
I mean, this is
dozens of these.
This is must be the this is what Goldstadt's all about, or Ingolstadt, or wherever the hell we are. Yeah.
This area, Frankenstein. I don't know.
I guess though, if your primary lighting source is that
This is fire or
like
but there,
we had gas lighting when I grew up. We had gas lights. We had a gas light. There were gas lights like outside.
Oh, I was gonna say, in your house?
Not in the house, no. But I think I bet I've been to somebody's house when I was a real
prairie
little
or
kid.
something?
Yeah, well, exactly. No, rural electrification, which is one of my favorite things to say. It's like saying rural juror.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that episode of 30 Rock or whatever?
Yeah.
Where she wrote rural. But it's rural electrification had gotten to my neighborhood by the time I was born. Thank you very much.
I would hope
But
so.
but you've seen it when you were a kid. They had gas lights some places.
But we also seen that electricity exists.
A bit. There is quite a bit of
There's a lot of
electricity in this movie.
around, so.
But I'm assuming Henry invented that. He invented electricity. Yeah, he's the Ben Franklin of this film.
Of this area.
But I think they use they're more they're closer in history to a time when
electric lighting wasn't the norm.
The norm, and presumably a lot of these Tyroleans, whatever we're calling them, these yokels, probably still they just got those torches off the wall.
Could be.
Who knows?
Could be. And they're wood, and they burn, but they aren't consumed. I've often, what is this made out of?
Yeah.
How do you make a torch like that?
I'm going to just go out on a limb and say eventually it consumes. I don't think it's like, it's not like Kennedy's eternal flame or anything like that. Is that a thing? Did I make that up?
No,
There's an eternal flame on Kennedy's grave.
Kennedy's grave. I think Elvis has one too.
Does Elvis have an eternal flame?
Well, he should if he doesn't.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, maybe.
I was sick of him by 68 and I wasn't even born yet.
Van Sloan should, so.
That's true. We still haven't figured that out yet, have we?
Get out there and Chaska.
Oh, man. Okay, that's what it is. We talked about a statue.
Right, but I think more fitting is
minimum an eternal flame.
Yeah.
So what makes it eternal? It's just people just keep putting oil in it.
I think in these cases hooked up to a pipeline. But,
That's true. That's just not a guy.
Going there, filling up the lamp.
Filling up the lamp.
Yeah, but they burn for a long time, and it's not like you're holding it, and the branch itself is on fire and slowly going down. There's something wrapped around the head of it that is burning, and I
these are good. Yeah, these are well-made torches.
Yeah, there's a guy in Ingolstadt that
will put one together for you.
Yeah,
and if you don't get one of his, you're probably going to get hurt. Yeah, these are.
Yeah,
these
you
want
to go with the professional torch.
Yeah, that's right. I think we already mentioned this, but yeah, we mentioned last week the burgomaster at this point is more or less competent now.
Yeah.
The only strike against him in this part is again that what he's doing is just morally
reprehensible.
But other than
that, he's fine. Well, he also takes the easiest terrain for himself. He says
you go out in the mountains.
You look into the woods.
That looks like a sturdy group.
Frankenstein up into the mountains, and I'll just go down by the lake.
Interesting to see how that turns out for Frankenstein up in the mountains too. I'll see if what his gang is like.
Yeah.
See if they can handle it.
Yeah, that's some pretty rough mountains there.
So we've got our three leaders. They seem to be put together. So I was going to suggest that they were more or less put together at random.
I'm guessing.
Ludwig is a terrible choice. He absolutely should not be involved in this.
No, he should be grieving. He should be grieving,
or anything. He just should not be allowed to. I don't just mean that it's not a good idea for him personally. He shouldn't be allowed in this endeavor. That's not how this should work. But then again, that's
for his well-being, or
for justice.
Because of what.
But then again, there's no justice to be found in any of this. So never mind. He's as good as anybody. Then
do they have,
maybe he's the best choice for that same reason.
For this.
If you're a fan of vigilante justice, why not have the victim's father
involved?
Yeah, the victim's father. There you go. And then you got your Henry, who again you also mentioned great emotional involvement.
Yeah,
He clearly not dispassionate.
Well, what I don't know if I'd like to see, but I'm curious about is how it was determined that he would be involved in this and would lead the third group. Because he's an aristocrat. He has no business being in this situation. I'm assuming he volunteered himself.
Okay, so one of the main qualifications I would think that does give him some credence here or whatever is his fox hunt pants.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got that. Okay. Let's not discount him altogether.
You got the pants, you're in.
He's not like the Baron, where he's all the best he can do is smoke a lot. He's got the pants at least. He's okay, but he's also probably somewhat capable.
Yeah.
At least what we've seen, we can see he's a very capable guy.
Able-bodied man, yeah.
Makes a lot more sense than, say, having Fritz do anything with his body. Right.
Like climb up the gibbet or...
Or for that matter, the Burgomaster. We don't see any reason to think that he's going to be particularly successful.
I would think the Burgomaster would stay behind and send someone on in his stead,
But then again, he's an elected official, presumably.
He wants to get reelected. It could be election year.
Yeah, I got to get my face out there.
Yeah. Press the flesh a little bit.
He's going out to press the flesh, if you will.
Undead flesh.
The undead flesh. Okay, so this is, and you touched on this. I don't think we know the answer to whether this mob knows that Henry stitched together a body from different bodies and brought it to life, and that's who, because they have to know all that, right?
Yeah.
Even if he just brought a dead guy back to life, you could say, well, I'm sorry I did that, but I didn't, it was still his fault. It's only his fault because he stitched together a body, right? I mean, why is it his fault?
He went way out of his way.
Well, that's true too. It's not like he did it by mistake. I'm not saying he did it by mistake, but he's not a murderer. He didn't murder that little girl. He himself is not a murderer,
but his actions led to the murder of that little girl.
And that's you saying that because you are all up to speed on the story.
Right. I am.
What does Ludwig think? And if Ludwig thinks anything like what we think, why isn't he turning that torch? Why isn't he kicking the shit out of him right now? And there is an answer to that, which might be it's all political, and that's why the Burgomaster's standing in the middle. Because
and they got those guys strong.
This is how government we know really works. It obviously works on behalf of people like Henry.
Right.
This isn't even a metaphor. This is probably literally happening right now. Somewhere in America. Son of a rich, wealthy aristocrat has brought a corpse back to life. We got the phones are ringing off the hook. People really want to weigh in on this.
Operators are standing by.
Operators are standing by to find out what people think.
Do you need to get that? I'll just vamp for a while if you want to get your phone.
No. It's 2019. If the phone rings, it's a mistake.
Okay.
Or there's no reason that should happen.
All right.
It's somebody you don't want to talk to.
Right.
Yeah. There's no real way to sort of put this together that makes a lot of sense, other than in my mind to say the Burgomaster has essentially said, well, okay, Henry, we all understand that Henry, but he's really sorry. And that, something like that, words to that effect. And he wants to, more specifically, he wants to make amends. He wants to make it right.
That's what I've always kind of read it as, is that he wants to make amends.
Yeah.
It's like, I fucked up royally.
Listen, guys.
So here's the thing. You're going to laugh. You're going to laugh.
It's not what you're thinking. I don't know what you're thinking, but it ain't this. That's no, and
I think that's
that
a very
can work.
fair assessment. That he just wants to.
And the fact that the Burgomaster is there makes that work because he's assigning these tasks to people, and everybody else is irrelevant. They're a mindless mob, which is a thing that happens in real life.
It does.
Unfortunately, still happens. And unless you've been in one, which I haven't, and I can't imagine ever being in one. I can't imagine
myself participating, but you never know.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Exactly.
You get lit up like that. Who knows?
I guess. Again, we did talk about this only a couple of weeks ago that we were presented with the corpse of a little girl, a dead girl.
Yeah.
And if you're going to ever have a mindless mob get all riled up, I don't think anybody can't find a better reason.
It's a very visceral thing to be presented
And this is where we find ourselves.
Yeah.
Hand out the torches.
Yep.
Yeah, those are your people. Go in the mountains. Those are your people. It's just kind of a weird the way he phrased that. Like if you're not paying attention exactly to that he had just said that's your group.
Yeah.
He says, those are your people. Those are the mountain people. You mountain people.
You know where
That'd be funny if Henry was like, "What do you mean your people?
Your people. Wait a minute.
What are you saying?"
Yeah. My father's the fucking Baron. You're my people.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't react.
People? I'll give you people.
I'll give you people. I can make people.
My father owns you, so yeah, I can make people.
I can make people. You get any number of people.
Yeah. How many you need? Put your order in now.
One of my favorite lines in Frankenstein is in this minute.
Particular film
is in all of it, all of Frankenstein. What I think of as Frankenstein, which is a pretty big thing, is get him alive if you can, but get him. I just really like that phrasing. Yeah. Obviously, we've seen many different iterations of the same idea. Yeah. Wanted dead or alive. Right, it's the same idea. Yeah, it is. But get him alive if you can, but get him. It's I really like the sound of it, the pacing of it, the rhythm of it, everything about it. And also, they're going after a guy who is alive, sort of. Like, how many characters in fiction or nonfiction, if you will, is that even in dispute, to begin with? So it's kind of a weird thing. I assume that's not intentional, really. No,
it's not. But there's a question. What are this creature's legal rights? Does he even have any?
And I would guess that's a more important thought in the novel than in any of these fucking movies.
Oh, it is.
Like when we talked about the movies that are to come are sometimes for me a little bit more fun. Mm-hmm. We don't talk about any of that kind of shit.
Oh yeah, there's no philosophical.
No one cares.
There's nothing philosophical. Beyond
Bride has some philosophical stuff.
Beyond moments of sun, it's over at that point.
Moments in sun?
There's a few. We'll get there.
We'll get there. I guess so.
There's a few. It's minor, but it's
Actually, Igor has the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sun is...
Actually, we do meet another character whose life and death status... Actually, we'll meet quite a few of them now I think about it. We're going to have a guy come back to life...
as a wolfman?
3 or 4 movies as a wolfman. And then a skeleton's going to have a steak pulled out of it, and another fucking guy.
Yeah, what are his legal rights?
What are Dracula's legal rights? Come back here in 6 years and we'll talk about it. 7 years. Okay, so there you go. That happens.
We'll also have the Belong Dead lawyers look into...
I think this is something, absolutely. The Belong Dead legal team.
Reanimated corpse.
To be honest, the Belong Dead legal team, I'm not even sure what they're doing. I'm happy to hear them finally get an assignment.
Yeah.
Nothing, they're not doing me any good.
Paying them for nothing all this time.
Money is just flowing out.
That's why they hasn't gotten any more elaborate than it is.
Yeah, that's kind of we're staying a little low rent, to be honest.
We got nothing.
Search every crevice,
ravine.
Is he you think he's in a crevice? Is he hiding in a crevice? This 10-foot tall...
Depends your definition of a crevice. I mean, in a mountain, a crevice could be pretty big.
It's true. You could put a whole village in a crevice. For all we know, this entire village is located in a crevice.
Yeah.
Actually, Ingolstadt is pretty much... It's ravines, crevices... and windmills.
Lakes and windmills, yeah.
Yep, lakes. I forgot. There's an occasional lake.
There's a lake, yeah.
What's a lake but just another kind of crevice?
It's a crevice full of water is all it is.
It's too bad he didn't say search every windmill. Nobody is assigned to the windmill.
Nobody's assigned to the windmill. So it's a safe...
Where's the windmill then? Is it
it's a safe house? It's a safe house for the monster.
I guess so. Well, that's for sure.
The windmill, it's got to be...
In the mountains.
In the mountains, yeah.
That's what we end up seeing,
that's
right?
Yeah. Spoiler alert, but that's where we end up, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I would,
Who got the ravines?
That would make sense because you would get the most wind on a hill.
Nice.
Am I...
That seems to make sense. It would be... Oftentimes you find them near a body of water, though.
Well, that's...
So near the lake, maybe.
The reason that's a mill, not necessarily a windmill. Because the water turns the turbine.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking because the wind blows across the water, so I know there's a lot of windmills on the shore.
Yeah.
Or out. They'd like sometimes to put them out to sea because then they're even less of an inconvenience. Unless you're one of those wealthy people that think it's an eyesore and then they have to tear them down.
Tear it down.
Yep.
Because windmills are used so often now in industrial.
What are they? What are those things?
Well, the big turbine.
Big turbine ones. Yeah. I'm bringing up something. What I'm thinking of is a political issue that came up in like 1990 something, where the Kennedys were criticized because they were obviously big proponents of progressive politics, but. Please don't put anything like that in my backyard because I'm a millionaire and I'd say no.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. There I am criticizing the Kennedys. This is what people come here for. I liked Frankenstein, but that's their next review. 1 star. It was okay until they went all anti-Kennedy on me.
What did the Kennedys ever do to you?